Hey, I'm Kelly. Welcome to class. We'll be working on strength for lower body and core. All you need is a resistance tube and a small ball. Now, I'm using a squishy ball. It's not blown up too firmly. You can also use a small firm cushion if you don't have a ball. Place that off to the side. You'll also need a mat. Lay your mat out side onto me like this. Check your resistance tube by running your fingers along it like this to see if there's any nicks or wearing. Once you've checked your tube, place it on the floor out of the way. Wear some sturdy athletic shoes. Keep some water handy for hydration. Let's warm up. Bring your feet comfortably apart with your toes pointing straight ahead. Hands on the front of the thighs. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times and lift out through your chest. Press your shoulders down and brace your core. Hinge at the hips. Hinge. Lift. Press the hips forward. Keep your knees soft. Squeeze your elbows back. Let's repeat that. Hinge at the hips. Lift and press the hips forward, opening through the front of the body. 2 more times. Hinge. Lift up. Press. Last one. Hinge. Keep your knees soft. Lift up and press the hips forward. Come up. Roll your shoulders back 2 times. Bring the hands to the front of your thighs. Separate your feet. Comfortably squat down and up. Sit back through your hips. Keep your chest facing forward. You're hinging at the hips, but more because you're sitting down and back than leaning forward. Give me 4 more. Stay long through your torso. Shoulders are down and back. Now squat down, come up and reach across to the left. Squat down, come across and reach to the right. Squat. Left. Reach across. 1 more each side. Nice, deep, but doable squat. Reach across side to side. Reach. Point up through your thumb. Reach long. Reach all the way out, level with your shoulders. Release the heel and swivel the foot. 8 more. Pull right back through your opposite elbow. 4, 3, 2. Shift side to side. Shift. 1 knee bends, 1 is straight. Add a reach. Keep your knees soft as you do this, but hinge forward at the hips. Rotate a little through your upper body. 4, 3, 2. Hold to the right. Now sit back and come up. Go to the left. Sit back. Press your hips forward. Go to the right, hips forward. Couple more. Hold here. Now turn your toes out. Keep your heels turned in a little. Squat down and shift a little side to side to stretch through your groin and inner thigh. Drop your right shoulder down. Look up over your left. Go to the other side. Drop the left shoulder down, look up over the right. Come back to the center, press both knees back and come up. Roll your shoulders back. Let's pick up your tubing and get started with our strength work for the lower body. We'll start with a kickstand squat. So anchor the tube underneath your right foot. Separate the feet about shoulder distance apart, but shift your weight onto the right leg. Pull the tubing up to your shoulders for more challenge, or keep them at the hips if you prefer. Now you squat down, sitting back, keeping the weight on the right leg, and you come up. So it's a single-legged squat. Let's do it. Squat and come up. Keep 80% of your weight on the right leg. You've only got 20% of your weight on the left. Sit back and come up. Inhale as you lower, exhale as you come up. Keep your shoulders down away from the ears. One more. Bring your hands down for a moment. Step your feet a little closer together. Rear lunge. Pull up to the hips, or for more challenge, pull up to the shoulders. Now, the left leg steps back onto the ball of the foot. You dip down and you step in. That's all there is to it. Let's do it. Lunge. What makes this challenging is that you were just using your right leg for that squat. So we're doing 2 exercises for the right before we go to the left. That makes it a little bit more effective. It's more challenging, but it's also more effective. It's a great way to add challenge when you're only working with tubing. One more. Good, bring your hands down. Take the tube out from underneath your right foot and anchor it under the arch of the left. Separate your feet shoulder distance. Pull up to your shoulders for more challenge with the tubing. Kickstand your right foot. Sit back and come up. Let's do it. Up. Keep 80% of your weight on the left leg. Push the floor away with your left foot. And come up. Sitting back and pressing up. Each time you come up tall. Align your knee with your toe and sit the hip back. Keep your weight on the left leg. And one more. And come up. Hands come down. Step your right foot closer to your left, about hip distance now. Rear lunge. Hands to hips or hands to shoulders. Step your right leg back onto the ball of the foot. Dip down and step forward. Ready? Let's go. Big step back and step forward. Sink right down. Bend both knees. Keep more of your weight on the left leg than on the right. So as you step back, you've still got your weight forward on the left leg. You're not shifting back. Keep your chest open and forward. Let's do one more. Bring your hands down and step both feet onto the tubing. Get even tension right and left and cross the handles over. Pull up to your hips. Penguins. Slightly sit into a squat. Keep your chest open. Press the foot to the side. Now, if you're standing on a clock, you're not pressing to 9 and 3, you're pressing to 8 and 4. Take a look side on, pressing back just a little. So back and to the side. Keep all 10 toes facing forward. Don't let your toes turn out on this. That's super important. Makes a big difference with which muscles are going to be engaging. Press diagonally back. Try not to sway your body too much. Just shift your weight. 2 more. 1 more. Very good. Okay, take the hands, uncross the tubing and anchor the tube underneath the right foot. Here's our next set. Sumo squat. Pull up to the hips, or if you want more challenge, pull up to the shoulders, standing tall. Step your left leg diagonally back. Open the knees, squat down and step in. Let's do it. Squat, and open. Keep your right foot pointing at 12 o'clock and step back to 8 o'clock with your left leg. Step back to 8 o'clock and come up. Open the knees. Open the knees. Draw in, one more. Hands come down. Take a break. Crossover lunge. So your left leg is going to cross back. The right leg is the working leg again. So 2 exercises for the right, 2 for the left. Hands to the shoulders, one more challenge. Cross back and come up. Join me now. Cross. Keep your hips square to the front. That's super important. It's not a very big crossover. It's just slightly crossed over behind you. You step back onto the ball of the foot. You've got a stretch underneath your toes. That's a bonus. And come on. One more. Very good. Bring your hands down. Sumo squat on the left. Take your right foot out, anchor the left, pull up to the hips or to the shoulders. Right foot steps out to 4 o'clock. You'll open the knees, squat down, and come up. You ready? Let's do it. Open and step in. Press the knees back. Sit back. So you feel a stretch in your groin, your inner thighs. Open the knees and come up. Nice and tall each time you come up. Open it out through the inner thighs. Press the knees back. And come up. Hands come down. Crossover. Crossover. Bring your feet about hip distance apart. Hands come up or hands stay at the hips. You cross back. And come up. Do it now. Cross and up. Cross back. Keep your hips square to the front. So don't let your right hip rotate back. If anything, it feels like you're pulling the right hip forward so it aligns square with the left to the front. Step back onto the ball of the foot, cross over just ever so slightly. One more. Good. Bring your hands down. Step both feet into the tubing and get equal resistance right and left. Cross the hands over. Pull up to your opposite hips. Lift your chest and then squat down a little. Keep all 10 toes facing forward. 2 steps to the right. 2 to the left. 2 to the right and 2 to the left. Keep your feet so that they stay apart. Don't let your feet come together. So keep your feet apart. Point your toes straight ahead. Don't let your toes turn out. That's super important. You'll feel this in the glutes, sides of the hips. One more. Very good. Bring the tube down, place it off to the side. We are done with tubing. We are coming to the floor with our ball. Come onto your side. Place the ball between the rib and the pelvis. Bend your bottom leg So it's at 90 degrees and keep the top leg straight. Come down, resting your shoulder, your elbow on the floor, other hand on the thigh, lift the leg up. Now, lengthen the spine and lift the elbow off the floor. So it's an isometric exercise. The muscles are contracting, but you're not moving. We're stabilizing using all the muscles here in the side of the body. If you need to take a break, the elbow comes down and you can bring the foot down, but come back into it as soon as you can. Try not to lean back or forward. Keep your hips and shoulders stacked. 3, 2, 1, come down. Roll onto your back. Bring the ball into the hand that was on top. Bring the feet up off the floor and place that ball on the inside of the opposite knee. Other hand comes up. Opposite arm and leg stretches out and in. Join me now. Once you've seen it, look straight up. Reach and lift. Push your hand into the ball and push your knee into the ball. The arm that's pushing into the ball is straight. You can bend the other elbow if you want. Here like this. The other leg is bending and moving from the hip. Almost there. One more. Good. Come up, roll onto your side, and let's go to the other side for the side lying. It's called earthquake. Side lying earthquake. Now bend the bottom knee so it's at 90 degrees. Tuck the ball between your rib and your pelvis. Come onto your elbow, lift the leg, and then lift your elbow off the floor. Now it's not unusual to feel stronger on one side. This side is significantly stronger for me. Might be the same for you, I'm not sure. It depends. You might be equally strong too. Remember, you have the option to put the elbow down and the leg down for a break. Pick it up and come back in as soon as you're ready. Keep your shoulders and hips stacked. That is super important. Breathe and brace. 3, 2, 1. Come down, roll onto your back. Take the ball with the top hand. Bring your feet up off the floor like you're sitting in a chair. Place the ball to the inside of the opposite knee. Other hand comes up. Opposite arm and leg stretches out. Here we go. Out and in. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you come up. Push into the ball as much as you can. Push into the ball with your hand and your knee. Breathe and brace. No movement in the torso. You'll feel your core very strongly. Last one. Good. Put your feet down. Have your feet reasonably close together. Place the ball between your knees and squeeze it. Palms of the hands face up with the arms on the floor beside you, a little bit out to the side. Squeeze the ball and have your feet the same distance apart as your knees. Now, drive the hips up and lower the hips. Flex your ankles. So lift the balls of the feet off the floor and dig your heels down to come up. Squeeze the ball as much as you can. So squish the ball or the cushion, if you have a cushion, that'll work too. Up and slowly down. Drive the hips high. Squeeze the ball, one more. And come down, all right. Put the ball off to the side where you can grab it in a moment. We've got a plank and a bird dog. 2 planks and 2 bird dogs. Okay. Come onto your forearms. Tuck your toes under. Shift your shoulders forward so your shoulders are over your elbows. Lift the back of your head up. Lift one knee and lower. Other knee and lower. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, lift both knees and down. Tap them lightly. Tap the knees lightly. Keep the back of your head lifted. Try not to let your head drop. Almost there. 10 seconds. Breathe continuously. One more. Good. Come down onto your knees. Come up onto your hands. Spread your fingers. Tuck your toes under. Stationary bird dog. So slide. I don't mind which side. One hand reaches out. The other hand stays under the shoulder. Lift the hand just off the floor slightly. Lift the leg off the floor. Keep your hips square and level. And you're just holding. We're focusing on stabilization for most of our core today. So there's not movement. The contractions are static. Keep the leg lifted, keep the hips square, stretch to opposite ends of the room. Good, come down. Okay, plank, second set. Come back onto your forearms. Open your elbows comfortably. Shift your shoulders forward, tuck your toes under. Now, one knee up and down, one knee up and down. So alternate your knees. Now, if you want, you can lift both knees up and down, or you can stay with one at a time. Or if you get fatigued, you can just come onto your knees, pause here for a moment, just like this, finding good posture, come back into it as soon as you're ready, either one knee or both. So one knee at a time, or both knees together. And come down. Okay, come up onto the hands. Other side for the bird dog. Tuck your toes under, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Opposite arm and leg. Press your shoulders down. Reach out. Keep your hips square and level. The hand doesn't have to reach high. Just think of stretching it out. Stretch it out. Away from me. Away from you. Like you're trying to touch the wall in front of you. Press out through your heel. Keep your hips square and level. Brace your core. 3, 2, 1, come down. Last exercise with the ball. Sit facing me and take the ball or the cushion, lean forward and wedge the ball straight at your lower, very right at your tailbone, and then lean into the ball. Bend your knees, bring your hands onto the front of the shins. Now reach your hands forward from the shoulders. Touch the elbow and come up. Other side. Touch and up. Touch down and come up. Touch down and come up. One more each side, supported with the ball or the cushion. And we are done. We're just going to stretch. Put your ball off to the side. Come onto your side. And then roll onto your back. Take a hold of your legs and pick them, feet off the floor, and pull your knees into your chest. Release the left leg. Pull the right knee in. Flex the ankle and stretch up. Circle the ankle. Circle it in the other direction. Flex the foot. Bend the knee. Cross it above the opposite knee. Open the knee to the side. Take your hand, reach through, and take a hold of your other leg and pull that in. Stretching the hip. You want to do a good hip stretch. We did a lot of work for the hips in today's class, so I want to make sure that I give you a nice hip stretch. Uncross. Take both knees, hug them in. This time release the other side. Pull that one leg in. Stretch up. Circle the ankle. Circle it the other way. And then bend the knee, cross it above the opposite knee. Open the knee to the side, reach through and take a hold and pull in. Pull in. And put the feet down on the floor. Open the arms to the side, palms up. Lower the knees side to side, just a couple of times. Keep both shoulders flat. And roll onto your side. Press up onto your forearm. Take a hold of the front of the shin or the foot and pull that back, opening the front of your thigh. Keep your knee close to the mat or close to the floor. And let's do the other side. Come across. Take a hold of the shin, ankle, or foot and pull back. Keep the knee close to the floor. Lift your chest, roll your shoulder back, and pull that foot in and back. Release that. Come up to standing. Take your time. Bring one foot forward. So you're in a half kneeling position. Tuck your toes under. Bring your hand onto the thigh and come halfway up. Just come halfway up. Semi-squat. Lift up. Let's stretch out your abdominals. Bring your hands onto your hips, onto the backs of your hips. Soften your knees. Lift your chest and press the hips forward. Look forward, not straight up at the ceiling, but forward and come up. Now rotate side to side, easy rotation. Easy rotation. Just letting the arms swing around and tap the body as you stop the rotation. Swivel the foot, release the heel. Hold here. Now circle the hips in one direction. Circle the hips in the other direction. Shift to the left, to the right, and press, stretching the inner thigh on the right. On the left, I beg your pardon. Come up and stretch the right inner thigh as you shift to the left. Sit back, feel that stretch down the inner thigh, and come up. Roll both shoulders back. Tilt your right ear over to your right shoulder and stretch the left side of your neck. Roll your shoulder back, your left shoulder back a couple of times. And lift up. Tilt your left ear over to your left shoulder. Now roll your right shoulder back a couple of times. And lift up. Roll both shoulders back. Lift your chest and open through the front of your body and come up. Roll your shoulders back. That was it. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed class today. We did some challenging moves that will definitely strengthen your legs and your core. I can't wait to move with you again. Bye for now.